guys, welcome back to another episode of Guns and Guitars, and I'm very excited about today's video. I've been wanting to do it for a few years, actually. These are some of my favorite shotguns, and probably the best part about them is that they come in at less than $200. In fact, this one comes in at less than $120, which is just absolutely bananas. And so if you follow my channel, you know I'm a huge proponent of spend less on your firearm and more on ammo and range time. You'll be a much better shooter in the long run. So let's take a look at one of these bad boys so that you can save that money for ammo and range time. I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars. Let's get started. Now I do want to say real quick before we get started, I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. I don't have anything to gain from making this video other than knowing that you guys, my brothers, will be well armed and hopefully have my back if I need it. And I also want to say, honestly, you know, I own and use these firearms on a regular basis. I wouldn't hesitate to use them in a life or death situation, you know, whether it be survival, hunting for food, or self-defense. If my life depended on it, I wouldn't hesitate to grab one of these guns. Starting right at the top of the list here, we have a gun that you've actually seen before on my channel. This is the H&R Partner Pump. Now, this gun is made in China, and unlike most things made in China, Chinese firearms are actually really high quality. They have some of the best firearms factories in the world. They've earned a reputation with, you know, like Chinese SKS and Chinese AK-47s, and then their clones of like Segas and Vepers and stuff like that are just absolutely outstanding. And they're normally not cheap as a result. But I guess this is the exception because an H&R Partner Pump will run you between $150 to $200. I got this one specifically for $190 at a local gun shop that will remain nameless at his request, okay? He's my local guy that wants nothing to do with the internet or technology or anything like that, and everyone should know that local shop in their city, and there is one. There's always the Doomsday Prepper or whatever that owns a firearm shop that he doesn't, you know, advertise online or whatever. You need to find that shop, make friends with the owners, buy firearms and ammunition from him on a regular basis so that he knows your face. Because I bought this in the thick of the firearms and ammo grab of 2020. And I was able to pick this bad boy up for 190 bucks, despite the fact that everywhere was sold out of all of them, and he could have price gouged, but he knew me, and so he gave it to me for the standard retail price. Now, obviously, this gun has been heavily modded. It originally came with a 28-inch field barrel and a 5+1 capacity. Obviously, I've modded the heck out of this. One of the greatest things about the H&R Partner is that it is actually a really close clone to a Remington 870. So close, in fact, that pretty much all Remington 870 accessories fit it, which is pretty awesome. So the reason why this gun might be familiar is this is the gun that I turned into a clone of a Remington 870 Tactical, which will typically run you about $500 or $600, and I was able to do it all for less than $300, mostly because the base firearm is so inexpensive. Now, this thing has been fantastically reliable, even with the extended magazine tube. It shoots and feeds regular 2 3/4 inch shells just fine, larger 3-inch slugs and buckshot, as well as the little tiny mini short shells. In fact, all the firearms that I'm going to be showing you today cycle the mini shells as well, which is great. With this added magazine extension, I can fit just an insane amount of short shells in it. I just feel like I never run out of ammo, which is really sweet. But this gun has been super reliable, plenty accurate. I can bust clays out of the sky, no problem. And then of course, with just standard tactical drill training, I can drill targets all day with this thing. I'm still not super sure that I like the top folding stock yet. I thought I would like it a lot more than I actually do. So just anyone that was wondering about that from my original review, I still have the True Glow high vis fiber optic sights on there, which are fantastic. Probably the best upgrade for every gun. Perhaps one drawback about the H&R Partner is that it is a steel frame receiver, and it is a very heavy duty steel frame receiver, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just makes the gun really heavy. So if you don't have the core and upper body strength to hold that weight out in front of you, this might not be the best option. On the flip side, if you do have enough muscle to do that, this thing has significantly less recoil than the other guns on this list because heavier guns just don't kick back as much. And so that makes it actually a lot more fun to shoot. All right, next up on the list is a firearm that you've probably seen on every firearm YouTube influencer's channel at some point or another. And that's just because it is a stinking good firearm for the money. And that, of course, is the Maverick 88 Security. Okay, the Maverick 88 is a clone of the Mossberg 500. It's affectionately known as the Mexican Mossberg because pretty much the only difference is that it's made in Mexico instead of made in America. Now there's some other more subtle differences, like the fact that the barrels are not interchangeable, as well as a cross bolt safety instead of the ambidextrous top thumb safety. But other than that, it is a really good clone of the Mossberg 500, mainly because Maverick, is owned by Mossberg. And I personally know that it's a really good clone of a Mossberg 500 because the first shotgun that I ever purchased is a Mossberg 500. And this is a fantastic gun, and this is a fantastic clone. Aside from the barrel, it does accept all other Mossberg accessories. In fact, if you watched my video on this, the folding stock actually had adapter plates to work also with the Maverick 88 and or Mossberg 500. So tons of aftermarket support for it. The great thing about the Maverick 88 Security is that it comes from the factory with an extended magazine tube. So instead of your typical 5+1, you actually get 7+1, which is excellent for home defense. And as a result of that mag extension, they also extended the barrel out to 20 inches instead of your standard 18.5 or 18.25, which just makes it a really good, multi-purpose barrel. Okay, it's long enough that you can take game with it if you need to, but short enough that it points really fast and easy. And speaking of pointing really fast and easy, this does have an alloy receiver, and it is significantly lighter than the H&R Partner. So if overall weight and capacity are your biggest concerns, I would definitely steer you in this direction. Now, I got this for $199 at my local Sportsman's Warehouse. Again, kind of middle of the pandemic. I was happy to find one and that they had it for such a good price. I checked recently and that price has gone up to $239, I think, but I did check on gun.deals before making this video, and there still are a number of online retailers that are selling these things for the $189, $199 range. And if online retailers are selling them for that much, there's a good chance that your local dealers will be willing to haggle down to that price. The last thing that I want to say, probably the only drawback to the Mossberg 500 platform, as well as the Maverick 88, is that you kind of got to buy the magazine tube length that you want because you can't add extensions. By design, the magazine tube connects to the barrel, and so you can't really extend the magazine tube without getting the proper size barrel as well. So if you're looking for increased capacity, go for the security model over any of the field models. I believe the price is pretty much the same. The field models just have options for different length barrels, whereas the Maverick Security pretty much just comes with this. Just like with the H&R Partner, I've had no issue cycling any type of ammunition with this thing, even the short shells. And again, with the extended magazine capacity, it just feels like you never run out of ammo, which is a really good feeling with a shotgun. We got the Mossy 88 here loaded up with short shells. That 7+1 turned into 12+1. Let's see how it does. Now, lastly on this list, we have what I think is the coolest gun on this list. Coolest for a few reasons. One, because it's only $119, and that is just freaking mind-blowing that in today's economy that you can get a really awesome firearm for $119. Now, when I got this thing, it was like a year ago. I got it from J&G Sales, which is a local to me gun shop, but they are an online retailer, which is why I mentioned their name so that you guys can find and purchase one of these. They had it for originally like $129 or $139. I don't remember exactly, but I just checked and they're selling these things for 119 bucks, which when I was in there the other day, I almost bought a second one. And I probably would have, except for the one drawback, which I'll get to in a little bit. But the other reasons why it's super cool is that unlike any other gun on this list, it comes pretty much tacked out, okay? It's got a buttstock with a shell holder integrated, and then it's also got a dovetail on the receiver so that you can mount optics, which is something that the other guns don't. I believe the Partner, the Partner is drilled and tapped, so you can add a rail if you purchase it separately. The Maverick 88 is not. You can't put any optics on it unless you are going to drill it and tap it yourself. But this one comes with an integrated dovetail, which if you're gonna mount a standard Picatinny optic, then you'll need a dovetail to Picatinny adapter, which is what I'm using right here. But this also is a clone of a Remington 870. Now, the reason why I say there's one drawback to it, and that's because even though it is a clone of an 870 and it functions flawlessly like a Remington 870 should function, I can't figure out how to remove the stock, so I don't know if it actually accepts 870 accessories. I can tell you this, it does not accept the 870 mag tube extension that I have on my partner. I know because I tried. In fact, that's the reason why I didn't buy a second one when I was in J&G the other day, was because I wanted to have a second one that I could mod out. And it seems like maybe this thing, it kind of already comes from the factory with all the mods you'd want anyway. But I would like a little more capacity because it is a 4+1 capacity, which is not uncommon for hunting rifles, but it's pretty uncommon for a self-defense rifle, which is what this is. You know, it's got an 18.5-inch barrel. I think it should have at least 5+1. I feel like when I'm shooting standard size shells, that I just run out of ammo really quick. When I'm shooting the mini shells, of course, that helps considerably, but compared to the other two guns on this list that already have magazine extensions installed, I just feel like I run out of ammo a lot sooner with this one, which is kind of a bummer because it's such a fun gun to shoot. It also has an aluminum receiver, so it is nice and lightweight, even with an optic and some extra shells. It's just a pleasure to shoot. Great for busting clays out of the sky. Great for tactical training, as you're seeing in my B-roll footage. Did I mention the price? $119. You can't get any functional firearm for $119 anymore. And I've looked. I tried to find something that was cheaper than this. And the only thing I came across was a Black Friday doorbuster sale somewhere had a Charles Daly for $109. But I'm not sure that Black Friday doorbusters count because they're obviously loss leaders just to get you in the front door. And not everyone gets to have that deal, only the first few that come into the store. So it just dawned on me I didn't actually tell you what the gun is. This is G-Force Arms, the GF2P, okay? And it's made in Turkey, which a lot of shotguns are these days. In fact, most of the value brand shotguns are like the Charles Daly that I just mentioned, as well as like Escort, Hatsan, Panzer, stuff like that. Now, 5-6 years ago, saying something was made in Turkey wasn't really a compliment because the firearms were kind of hit and miss. But that has definitely changed in the last few years. In fact, in the last 3 or 4 years, every single firearm I've gotten from Turkey has been outstanding right out of the box. So whatever, manufacturing issues they were working through, they got all the kinks worked out. And so again, this is a fantastic firearm for the price. Did I mention the price? $119. So definitely worth checking out. Obviously, I can't put links to this stuff in the description because of YouTube policies. I think J&G also, I noticed on their website, you can buy a 5-pack of these. And I don't think you save any money, but you do get consecutive serial numbers, which is kind of cool. And I'm sure that the bulk discount on that comes with shipping because shipping a box of 5, I'm sure, is a lot cheaper than shipping 5 individually. While I don't think that these are going to have any sort of collector's value because, Turkish firearms kind of come and go, I will say that, like, for sentimental reasons, it would be really cool to buy your whole family, consecutive serial number firearms. So you remember that year when Grandpappy got us all matching shotguns? That could be a really cool memory. Like I said, at $119, I'm tempted to buy more because I really like this shotgun, but obviously I have a lot of shotguns. You guys know that I'm like the shotgun guy. Also, definitely let me know down in the comments if I missed something on this list. If you guys know of a fantastic value shotgun that's less than $200 that really should be on this list. And lastly, if there is a gun that is an everyday price less than $119, please let me know because I don't know of any, much less ones that are good and worth owning like this one. All right, I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars, and I'll see you in that next video.